my main inspiration, for example, were 18th and 19th century paper toy theaters, which I have some of. I mean, I don't have the original ones, but I have some reproductions, and I've assisted some directors when I was younger that used them extensively for some of their theater shows. And these paper toy theaters always fascinated me a lot. So I decided, when I created my own style, to use them as references as well as pop-up books. So yeah, I literally cut out all of my characters and then ended up moving them, you know, doing this thing. So I did it entirely on my own. I fixed the phone in front of the set and then did everything I needed to do. Yeah.
And you paid a lot particular attention to the boy, because I've seen he has many different expressions around, during the film, and it's like you paid particular attention to.
Yeah, we have some of the different expressions that he has. Yeah. Because again, what this series taught me, I mean, I already knew as a director that at least I come from that specific school. Whatever you put in front of the camera has to be there for a reason. And so I ended up making some very specific artistic decisions at the very beginning, since I had to do everything on my own. So I decided that he was the only character who was going to show a different range of emotions, as opposed to the inquisitors or persecutors, let's call them however we like, the jurors, who are always going to show the same face. Even though, by the way, I moved them, and by the way, I also moved the title cards and what those title cards showed as a written content. Sometimes people have the impression that they also change expression, although they really don't. With them, it's more of a Kuleshov effect kind of thing. The only one who really changes his expressions is Leonard, because I really wanted to create a serious divide between him and them. He's the expression, in a way, of innocent youth and youthfulness, as opposed as to the rigor, the rigid religious rigor that the jurors represent. So I wanted it to be translated in visual terms, and that's why I came up with that idea.
But he's also a complex character, I would say. He's not just an innocent with the I mean, he's not. I think he's at first, when I was watching the first parts of the series, I thought, okay, he's sort of an innocent guy who was wrongly accused, but then he sometimes admits that he's being taken by his devil, the mentor, and it's like, okay, now we have to modify our own impression of his own characterization. So he's a complex character as well. It's not like
he's a very complex, and that complexity is the very reason why I decided in the end to adapt this story, because it's true, it's very political. It deals also with fairy tales. So all of these are themes that I'm very interested into, but something I'm also very interested into is complex human dynamics and ambiguity. I think that sometimes some of the greatest stories, not all of them, but some of the greatest stories that we are told are somehow shrouded in ambiguity. And this one really was, because exactly as you said, the character of Leonard is actually quite uncanny. I mean, he keeps looking and sounding like a very innocent child till the very end, but the way he responds to the accusations, basically not denying anything he's accused from. So he confesses to be a proud Satanist in a way, but at the same time, his attitude keeps being so cute and sweet and nice, and it's very hard for the audience to take decisions. I mean, from what I've experienced right now, and what I have experienced as a reader while reading the story, the audience keeps being drawn to him, and they don't really realize some of the darkest elements that he might imply. with his character. But that's the interesting thing for me.